Well, hello there, friends. How are you today? It's Sharon here. How are you? Let me know where you're tuning in from as you jump on to our live today. I'm here with Essential Stencil as one of their ambassadors. And every day of the week, there's one of us here to show you some DIY projects using some of the amazing Essential Stencil products, which include, of course, stencils, rub-on transfers, all of their brushes, and even some of the materials like the wooden tags that you can use to stencil on, and the new little wooden houses, that kind of thing. So I hope you're excited to be here. I know I am, and looking forward to seeing what we've got here in the comments. Let me just press play so I can see your comments here on the... There we go. I can see you here now. Hi, everybody. Hi, Joyce Ann and Kimberly and Mary, all here today. Look at this little screen that we've, well, not little, it's kind of big screen. We've now, in the new house, mounted a TV to the back wall. So Marty literally did this, and we put my logo on there. So like with literally 2 minutes to spare, going live here today. So yes, thanks Kimberly, yeah. So as you can see, we've got my code here. It may be a little small because depending if you're looking on your phone or on your laptop, but we've got my code right there so you can remember that. I restore stuff. If you want to use that today for any of your Essential Stencil products, you can use that and get 10% off. If you're joining me for the replay of this live, don't forget to comment the word replay and you have a chance of winning some prizes. But stay tuned for the live here because we're giving away 3 stencils. Usually we give away a few stencils. So that's what we'll be doing today, giving away prizes, showing you how to do some DIY. Hi, Christine. Yes, this isn't my workspace. Looks great, she says. It's actually my dining table again, and organised here with my bit of core flute on the top, so that on the surface, so that I don't wreck the dining table. But yeah, that's the best place I've found so far. Still working out my workshop in the garage. Still doing things, as you do when you move into a new home. You've still got a lot of things to work out. We still have a few boxes behind the camera here that you can't see, and flat pack. We've got a big one of those do-it-yourself built-in wardrobes. So if you're following me on Instagram, we're about to do that Friday. So stay tuned and we'll see how we're going after all of that. But hopefully it looks like the beautiful pictures that we designed it from. So let us get started here today. We're doing another fun fall DIY. Wow, comments are coming fast. Here we go. Oh, I do have to change. I think I can still. Oh yes, I'm watching and I can see the comments. I'm going to be doing this fun clipboard today, and I'm going to be using, so the stencil set I'm going to focus on, well, 2 really. So and the description and the stencil links are in the description of the live here today. So you can always click on the description to have a look at the links. You can just use my code on Essential Stencil's website. You can also use their search tool. Use the code I restore stuff, get you 10% off. But we're using the game day. I think they're called, oh no, not game day. I called it game day because the sign they made was game day down here, a porch sign. But they're the A to Z Varsity Letters. So if you look up Varsity Letters on the Essential Stencil website, you'll find those. So that's what we're working with. They're these great big letters here. Here's the A. I'm going to be doing the letter S because my name's Sharon and I thought we could use an S. And I also want to show you the sunflower blossom, or I think it's called sunflower bloom pattern on the Essential Stencil site, but the link for that is also in the description. Yes, it is kind of a varsity kind of game day font. It looks great, doesn't it? And the other thing, oh, and I will be using some sunflower transfers. So get your transfers out if you haven't used those yet. And why don't you craft along with me? I know that lots of people love to just do their craft in their craft room and listen along to the ambassadors as we show you what we're doing. So I've got my clipboard here and I'm going to personalize it. So here's a way that you can personalize your things. So I haven't even painted anything on the background. I'm just going to leave it as is. In fact, I should have probably painted it. I just noticed then I've got a little scribble of pen just here. Never mind, we could possibly cover that up with one of our transfers. I'm going to just be using this now. I could use this, hang it up, put my to-do list on there, clip some memos on there, that kind of thing. I'm going to be using an S and showing you how to stencil sunflowers behind the S. So let's get started. Thank you for letting me know where you're all watching from Michigan. We've got a few from Michigan by the looks of it. Joining from Iowa, Donna. Awesome. I love sunflowers too, Carolyn. I do. So hopefully I can get these sort of matched up so that they look all great together, just depending on what colours you use for your paint. Now, I will mention that I did do one of the leopard print, so you can do this idea with leopard print as well. I did, if you follow my page, I Restore Stuff, I just shared a little quick tip video on using that leopard print, and you might have seen Renee's live last Friday, I think it was. She did a great live and demonstrating exactly how to use that, so you can always look back on that because it is a layered process. So I might just run through a couple of tips at the end on doing that. But if you go look at my page and on my Instagram, I've put a reel there on some quick tips on how to do that. But here's mine, and I might put some of these Varsity Letters on here at the end of our live, depending on how we go for time. So let's look down here at our project, and thank you for sharing too. I love it when you share our lives and sprinkle the love around. So I'm going to be showing you this clipboard today. I've got nothing on the background, but I do need to start with, and what the idea is, that I will be putting some sunflowers in behind the S to create a bit of a sunflower S. Then I'm going to add some of the sunflower transfers to my board as well. So, and it's just got that natural looking background. But to get started, I want a background for my sunflowers to appear on. So I'm going to first of all stencil this in white. I do need to just double check that my S is around the right way because I'm doing this upside down for you all. Okay, someone saw it. Robin, did you see that on my page? Is that what you're talking about? I did the little quick tips on how to get your leopard print around the right way. So, all right, we've got our stencil brushes here, and I will use quite a large one today. We've got our biggest one is the 7/8 inch. They come in a set of 4. You can get 10% of those also using my code, I Restore Stuff, on Essential Stencils website. I am just using a white, well it's an off-white colour, and it has some warm tones in it which really suit the fall theme that we've got going with the sunflowers. It's the colour Cashmere by Fusion Mineral Paint. You can use any acrylic craft paint for your projects, for stenciling. I tend to prefer the thicker acrylic based paints only because you know, they stencil really well on and give good coverage. So this is the Fusion Mineral Paint. I stock that here in Australia, and I also have an affiliate link. If you would like that link, I can get that to you also. Okay, I'm going to stick my letter down so that it doesn't move. Just put a little bit of tape up here. Hi Diana. Yeah, sometimes the notifications, Facebook is a bit laggy on notifying when we're going live, but if you keep the schedule that gets emailed to you, you'll be able to tell when we're going to go live each week. I go live the same time every week, so it's always Wednesday night, 7 p.m. CST. You can guarantee almost that I'll be here. Okay, so I've offloaded. No, I haven't. I didn't even offload the brush, but I did not have very much on there, and also this is a really large space inside of here, so I can afford to just not offload as much, although I would not recommend that. I do have my board here that, as regulars will know, we always recommend offloading our brush as much as we can. And then I'm just sort of going around the edges. So we're creating a base for our sunflower S. Now you can do this with any of the letters or any of the shapes really. that Essential Stencil has. If you missed the beginning, we're using the Varsity Letters, and they have A through to Z, and they are great for those game day kind of signs, football signs, university type, even graduation. Imagine a graduation sign and something like this. Can be used year round. Okay, so we want some nice even coverage on here. The board is fairly matte. It does feel very smooth, but it's got sort of a matte finish. Offloading our brush is the key to good crisp lines. Hopefully I've offloaded enough that we won't get any tricky edges. Now, it doesn't have to be super good coverage, because as you can see, it does look a little rough. But this is our background. We're mostly going to have the stenciled sunflowers going on top of that. Oh, did I forget to bring my hairdryer out here to dry this off? Excuse me, Tori. Could you grab my hairdryer, please? Get my lovely assistant to help me. I didn't bring it in. So we'll probably dry that off, but let me just show you those nice crispy edges. So now we've got our background, which is the S, and I've just done S for Sharon because that's my name, so I thought we could do that. But you can do this with, as I said, with any letter. And then we're going to put our sunflower on here as a background, and then some transfers down the bottom. Thank you so much. If you want to just, could you just plug that in there? Thank you. So the transfers, let me just talk about that for a second. The full type transfers that we do have, there are quite a few. Before I go on, I'm going to pop this, because I will use that later, in a wet cloth so that it's not going to dry out. The transfers that we have with beautiful sunflowers on it, there's the sunflowers transfers. I do have links to the transfers in the description of the live as well, and the autumn pumpkins set. There are a few with sunflowers and pumpkins, gorgeous fall leaves and things like that. So those are the two sets that I've picked from today. Actually, just the sunflower set probably. Grabbed a couple of sunflowers, thought we could pick between these ones, either centering it here, or I'm thinking also this would be nice on sort of an angle like so. So let's have a look. We'll just make sure that that's completely dried off. What are the letters called? They are called Varsity Letters. Okay, so, and they are 8 by 7 inches, and there's 26 letters. So I believe the 8 by 7 is the actual stencil size, right? Not the actual letter size, and I could probably tell you that, but all the dimensions, if you go to the link, should be right there on the link. Okay, so I've left my tape on, I've left my, I haven't worried about cleaning that off. It should be okay to use as is, but if you wanted to be particular, you could clean that off. So what we want to put is as a sunflower design on our S. So what I'm going to do is lay this down and have a think about which way I'd like to go with the sunflowers. I want to see at least a whole sunflower in there somewhere. Let me see if I can show you this properly. So we've got partial sunflowers obviously going to be in some parts. So I would just move around that stencil until you feel like you've got plenty of sunflower looking sunflowers right through the design that you can see through there. So we can see that they're sunflowers. Oh, there's one with a little leaf also, but you don't want that middle of the S covering the center of a sunflower necessarily. I want my centers to be seen as much as I can. So I kind of like where it was back here where I could see partial sunflower, and this guy, he's got mostly there. So I'm going to put it into a place where I feel like it would be where I want it. Now, remember, you can do this with any pattern. Even the leopard print with that 2-layered design, you would still have to do that in 2 layers. In fact, I am looking forward to trying that idea. There we go. So I feel like, did I put that upside down? And it's just slightly different. There we go. Okay, so I'm just going to tape that here, which also tapes because my stencil is coming just out there. but making sure I can see that white border exactly where I had the stencil earlier. So hopefully that makes sense. Yeah, Jane says, you ordered those letters and you're anxious to use it for football season. Absolutely. Great idea for football season. So many different uses there. They're nice block, fun letters. Okay, the colours I'd like to use, I'm going to use some of the fusion colours again. The mustard is always such a great sunflower colour. And I kind of got my sunflowers here that I want to put for here, and I sort of thought these would be great, although the yellow is a little bright, so we may just have to do a little bit of mixing and matching. I do have a little bit of mustard here that I've already dried and rubbed off on, so I'll just use that. Also, the centre of the sunflowers is quite a dark brown. I didn't have any dark brown, but I'm thinking I'll use a bit of black mixed with the mustard. Maybe that might give us a similar kind of tone, but that's what I'm going for today. So just going to use another brush. Let's use the 3/4 inch, and I think I'll just go over the entire sunflowers with this, and then I'll touch it up with my yellow and my black on those, like the outer edge with the yellow. Let's go ahead and do that. So dipping my brush in again to my paint, and this is Fusion's mustard colour. Again, I do have an affiliate link for the Fusion paints if you would like that. I would love your support, because that's always supportive when you use a link from an ambassador. Yes, Rhonda, mustard is a great colour for the sunflowers. Okay, I'm going to go over that. Remember, we've got our white background plane of the S, and now I'm going to go over this with the mustard colour over the entire lot. Don't have a lot of mustard on the brush by the looks of it. Add a bit more. And that gives, the white gives also a nice base for that, for your colour to go on. Dipping a little bit more, offloading our brush to get nice crisp edges. And we're going, the stencil, remember, is underneath the S stencil. So I'm doing a monogrammed clipboard if you've just joined me. And these letters are so great to use for all sorts of signs. So with the leopard print sign that I made yesterday, and I did a little video clip on some quick tips on using it, because it is a layered stencil, and that's over on my I Restore Stuff page. So if you follow me there, you'll find that video, probably the last thing I posted last night or early this morning for you guys. I'm in Australia, if you haven't noticed my different accent, in Queensland, where we're finishing off winter and hopefully going into spring next week. The 1st of September is our official spring here. So looking forward to that. And you guys are entering fall, so that's lovely. Okay, so I've got my mustard colour down. I'll lift this just to show you. Shall I? Shall I give you a sneak peek? So far we've got this going on. So that looks great, just like that. Look at this. Isn't that beautiful? So there's our sunflower S. But I'm going to place it back down, and let's just add a little bit more colour to it, and putting it back exactly where it was, those two joined together. Gave you a little sneak peek. So I've got our mustard colour on the brush. What I'm going to do is just add a touch of black on that same brush. If I can get the black open. Hopefully I won't get mustard in my black paint here. And I'm just going to add that, give a little mix. So it's kind of muted. It is a little bit muted. And what I want to do, and I probably will just pounce this in just those sunflower centre bits, so that it's not too, and it will kind of stipple over the top of some of the flowers, but it just gives that centre a little bit of a darker look. This one, I'm running out of paint right on this brush, but I don't want to fill it with too much more, because I want it all to be the same colour as these down here. There we go, so that's that. And then I thought I'd add a little bit of yellow. Now obviously I'm not going to use that same brush for the yellow, and I probably am finished with this brush now. Excuse me while I take a sip of water. Okay, yellow we'll use a tinier brush. So our stencil brushes again come in 4 sizes. I'll use the 5/8 inch one actually. Oh, is there a smaller one? Did I use that already? 1/2 inch. There we go, a little 1/2 inch brush. So that comes in a set of 4. You can get 10% off anything in Essential Stencils store using my code IRESTORESTUFF. So, and the sets that we're using today are in the description of the live. You'll be able to find those. Essential Stencil has pinned them actually right there to the top comment. So I'm just going around the tips of the sunflowers with a little bit of extra yellow and just blending it. Hopefully you can see this. I might try and zoom in a little bit. By zoom in, I mean bring my project closer. That's my technical zooming. So what I'm doing is just going around the tips and of the sunflower leaves. So it's just got a bit of a blend going on here. Just a little bit of yellow. So I'll pop that back down because I can go at it a little bit harder with the brush when it's down. Just with that. And this is a colour called Little Star, which is a seasonal colour for Fusion Mineral Paint. They have, it doesn't come out all the time, so it's just occasional. So you may find it on that my affiliate link that I can give you. Please let me know in the comments if you want that link and I can pop it in there. I usually go back and check all my comments afterwards to make sure I answer all your questions. But there are also some wonderful, helpful people who've been stenciling on here for a number of years and who also have great tips. So if you do have any questions, let us know and we'll do our best to help you in the comments. Let me know too, guys, if you are new here to stenciling, and we would love to know that too. Oh yeah, great gift for a teacher. It is. Oh, Donna, you don't like winter. Yeah, I'm not a fan of either summer or winter. They're just too extreme for me. I don't like the extremes. Give me spring and autumn any day. Okay, so I've done that part. I will pop that back into my wet cloth also, just to make sure it doesn't dry out in case I want to use that yellow somewhere else. But there we have finished our gorgeous sunflower in the S. So look at that blending there. Gives that close-up look. So yeah, this is a great idea for teachers, graduates, that kind of thing. So this is my clipboard. I'm just going to add a couple of little transfers down there. So then obviously I've got the S over the top of the sunflower blooms stencil. That's a single set, so that one's available on Essential Stencil site, as well as the Varsity Letters, all 26 letters of the alphabet. Great letters to do for all of those kind of projects. Let's have a quick look at our transfers. Now these are the sunflower transfers, but there are also sunflowers and pumpkins. So I thought I could add this. I think I like it at this angle here that's going on, and I've obviously cut this out. You don't have to add something. Let's see about this angle. I'm trying to see what it looks like this way. Yeah, I think we might go this side. And it doesn't matter if some of that reaches over the top of your existing stencil, that's all fine. I'm going to just pop that down. We've got a backing paper, so if you haven't seen the transfers used before, we've got some backing paper that we just peel away. So then that's the sticky side of the transfer right there. And you want to lay that down to where you want it. Oh, it does fit all on. Look at that. So you just pop it down exactly where you want it. Smooth it over with your hand, and then we've got this handy tool that comes with your rub-on transfers. and I think you can also order these singly if you need extras, but usually just the one that comes in the packet you can use for all the different transfers. I just keep mine and use it for the next set as well. So yeah, but if you are teaching these as a workshop or something like that, you might want to have some extra tools on hand for people, so you can order those. Anything, like I said before, anything you order in the Essential Stencil shop online, you can use my code I Restore Stuff and get 10% off. There's also, of course, the Stencil of the Month Club, and you can get 50% off your first month if you join the Stencil of the Month Club at stencilofthemonthclub.com. They have exclusive stencils every month delivered to you, plus also a club shop. And they have beautiful add-ons each month too that are optional add-ons. So lots of fun over there in the club. And you get to join a VIP Facebook group for the club members. Get lots of ideas there. So as we have rubbed that on, we're going to be just peeling back the transfer. I might do that this way as I go. So as we go, just peeling it back to make sure all of those little areas have stuck down. So this is so therapeutic. I feel like it's fun to just watch the design. Can be, depending on your surface, it can, I feel like a slick surface is better for them. I'm not sure. And then, no, a rough surface probably. I don't know, but sometimes depending on the surface, if I've painted it, because you can put this on painted signs or painted furniture. Some of them can be a little bit more stubborn in staying on the piece, and some will just, peel right off and nothing will stick to the clear part. So, and people have said too that it depends on sometimes the temperature and the weather as to whether they'll stay. But yeah, you may like to just leave your stenciled pattern on the board just as is, or you can decorate it like this. So, just a few little bits sticking, but mostly it's coming off nicely, which is great. Whoop. Even if it breaks away from the whole thing, you can always put it back down. There we go. Now it's coming off nicely. Just have to lay it back down if you see little bits coming off. Beautiful fall leaves and sunflowers and pumpkins with these transfers. Did we get any newbies here on the live today? Tammy's asking, will you need to seal this? And if so, what do you use? Great question. You may want to seal it. For this clipboard, I feel like it's just got papers going over the top of it, so I don't really need to seal it. But if you did, and yeah, it's a shame that the papers will cover my lovely designs, but sometimes it'll be empty. If you did want to seal it though, and if you were doing this on signs, and you may want to seal it. On furniture, definitely, just in case you get people rubbing up or bumping against it. And I would just use any kind of wipe-on poly. Infusion has a nice tough coat sealer that you can use. So that just goes on so smoothly and it feels like just it blends with the board itself. My stencil feels a little raised because I've used paint on there, but how do you like that? Sunflower S and the sunflowers underneath on a nice little clipboard. So what I did say, let's see if I've got some more on here. Here's my sunflowers that I put in a Ziploc bag and I cut them all up so that they're kind of ready to use. I was wondering if I had a small sunflower because I noticed I have some pen marks right here on the edge, so I thought I could just quickly pop that onto here. And look, I didn't bring my scissors to the table. That was a mistake. But what I can do is just fold this back and I can cut that later. Look at me. Ingenious. Okay. I'm going to fold that back right to there because that's where I want to go to. And I'm going to just cover up this pen mark with a sunflower. Look at that. And then I do have time, guys. I'm going to do this. I'm going to go to my leopard print that I painted, stenciled yesterday, and create some Varsity Letters on top of the leopard print to make a beautiful home decorating, a home decor sign. Let's see if I can get this off. Yes, ta-da! So there we go. I did that without cutting, but I'll cut that off later. So there we've got a random little sunflower just off to the side here, but you could add more to that, however you want to decorate it. Okay, let's have a look at that leopard print that I did yesterday and make a home sign. So, oops, got everything everywhere here. So because I already prepared the sign earlier, it's all ready to just pop my Varsity Letters on top. Now, if you wanted to see my quick tip video, that's on Instagram and Facebook on my page there. I restore stuff. And I'm using the Varsity Letters again, and we're going to create the word home on here. So we will use, because we've got a contrasting, I've done grey first, and then I did the mustard next, and then I did the black on top. So I did watch Renee's video on Friday, so if you haven't seen that, you will get a more detailed demonstration on how to use that. It was a very good explanation. It helped me a lot. And then you can, so I will just go over that really quickly. So remember to put on the more circular pattern first, and then this one with the odd shaped pattern goes on the top. And they do line up in a particular way as to where you can kind of see that they'd be leopard spots. They only have one way. So if you have it flipped the wrong way, they won't line up. If you have it turned upside down, they won't line up. So you've just got to make sure that they all line up to make it look like that. So if you want to see how to do that, you can check Renee's video, or you can also look at my page where I've popped a quick tip video. I've got the word home spelled out here. So now all I have to do is kind of center that. The other thing I want to do to finish off this sign is paint these edges. And I think I'll just paint those black, and that'll kind of make it stand out and pop. So Bonnie says, I'm not a leopard fan, but I went back and ordered this stencil. It is so cute. It is, isn't it? Yeah, it is really cute. So we're just doing this. We've done our sunflower sign if you've just joined us. And so you can go back and watch the replay on how to do that. Reminder, if you are watching this as a replay, to comment the word replay, and you have a chance of winning another prize. And stay tuned to the end, guys, and join in the comments right here live, because we are giving away 3 stencils later when I finish this sign. So help me center this up, everybody. Help me center it. We've got 4 letters, but look at the M is a lot larger than the other letters. It's a lot wider. So we've got to keep that in mind. So I think it's going to lean a little bit this way with that M. I'm going to get it to where I've got an even amount of gap, so I can see through these stencils. They are great for that. Keep that gap in the right place. Then when I've got them all lined up, and I've got the same amount of that side to that side, so here's my gap here, here's my gap here. See how we're just sort of lining them all up? Now this is my, oh yes, I have, guys. I think I did it. I think I centered it correctly. Don't ask me how I did that. So all I've done is made sure I've got the same amount of gap in between each letter. It's around about the same. You will tell me if I've got a letter upside down, won't you? I did that once. Okay, so we've got the H here, although, oh, yes, this is what I'll do. Okay, and we've got the O here. I'm going to tape these each down, but I'm going to start with that M, I think. So that's the first one. It's kind of under the others anyway. So let's start with the M. And I'm going to use that white colour that I used earlier with the large brush on my letter S. Using this, it's cashmere, so it's kind of an off-white colour. You can sort of see the colour there. It's a little bit, got those nice warm tones. Feeling that tickle in the throat today. Okay, dipping my brush in, and we want to offload that, but not a whole lot because, oh, here's what I needed to do first, is see how I've taped these down at the end? So to keep them in the exact same place that I need them in, we just make little flaps. Okay, so we've got our M, making sure that's in the right place. Might even put a little bit more tape over here. Teresa said, I'm noticing there are so many colours to use for leopard print. Absolutely. And I was actually thinking about doing sort of like a pastel leopard print too, which would be heaps of fun. Okay, so this is a off-white colour. It does have good coverage, but I can still see a little bit of the leopard through there, so I may have to do 2 coats on this. And just watch those very thin lines. See the little thin line, or bridge we call them, for the M. Just make sure that you don't move that too much. So I'm going along that line because if I was doing that swirling, it would sort of give it a bit of movement and I wouldn't have nice crisp lines. I don't mind the stenciled bridge look, but some people prefer to get rid of those bridges. And so of course Essential Stencil does have bridge brushes, so they're really tiny fine artist brushes that you can just go over and paint in those little bridges after you're stenciling. But I kind of like the stenciled look. Offloading on the paper. So if you've just joined, oh, I could sit down, couldn't I? I'd do that to myself, hurt my back. If you've just joined, I did this leopard print yesterday and I've got a little video on my I Restore Stuff page if you wanted to see that. But also if you do want to have a look back for a longer version of how to do this, check out Renee's Essential Stencil video on the Essential Stencil page right here where you're watching on Friday. I think it was last week. You can go back and have a look at that. All right, so we've got our M. Now, if I do want to do a second coat, I want to leave that in place. So I will have to lift this up. I could do that second coat now, or I could wait and do that later. Oops, oh, my E has come off. Oh, they're all coming off. Now I've got to put that back and find out where it was. Ah, it was around about that. See, oh dear. See, it was a good plan, wasn't it? I thought they were going to stay there. We'll see. Let's do the O next. So to do that, I'm going to have to bring the M out of its little box here. Let's see if I can do that. And then it kind of leaves it. Well, I guess I can always just go over that M in the right place. And I can see that that bridge line has been filled because I did have a bit of extra paint on my brush. So here we go. Again, offloading, doing the O. And I've got those bridge lines. And then I can do my little circular motion. It might help to just pop your finger down because these are such large letters and have little tiny bridges. It will help to pop your finger down, make sure that center part of the O doesn't move around too much. Oh, Diana, watching while you're doing your second sink full of dishes. Oh, that sounds like a lot of work. A lot of people like to watch our lives while they're crafting themselves. So if anyone is crafting right now, let us know in the comments. What are you working on? Are you stenciling something? Are you painting a piece of furniture? That's what I love to do. I upcycle furniture. So if you follow my page, irestorestuff.com, You'll see lots of blog posts on how to do that. Okay, let's see if we can switch this one around and do the H. Okay. A little bit on the brush, offloading it again. Yeah, Joyce Ann is agreeing. So yeah, I agree. The thin bridges are really difficult to not go ahead and cover, but if you like them filled, absolutely, it's all good. This original, the underneath layer is grey, and I had a bit of texture going on, random texture going on in my background there, so it gives a bit of a different, I just like a bit of texture sometimes, it gives a bit of a different look. Oh, who's chopping corn? Diana. That sounds lovely. I've been seeing a lot of people. Is that a thing? You guys do sweet corn and chop corn, and it seems like that's the season. Is it? Is that a fall thing to do? Must be the season to do it over there. I do love some sweet corn. Brenda says, have you ever used salt wash? Yes, Brenda, that's what I was thinking, is that not the salt wash brand, but Fusion has also a product called Fresco, which is very similar, and so that's what I got, these little textured bits in my background using that kind of a process. So there's the letter H. So then we've got the E over here to do, and then we can go over and do our second coat. I'm just making sure that's lined up properly because that shifted. I think we've got it right. Just going over these edges. Now I'm going to be real careful on these bridges, and again just holding that with my finger to make sure it doesn't move too much. So you want to use a contrasting colour. If I've got the grey and the black and the mustard colour going on there, I wanted to use a white so that it would stand out nicely and boldly. The word home. What other words could you think of? I had to find something that was only 4 letters, or if you can also go down, so I could do this in a vertical sign, it would only fit 3 of these letters, I believe. Oh, maybe, yeah. Yes, it just fit 3. So that was interesting experiment to see how many I could fit across and how many I could fit down. So I would have had to choose a 3-letter word for going in the vertical direction, like a vertical sign, but for this one I could use 4, so I could do home. What's the other one I thought of doing? Hello, Hello. I could do that, so that worked. But I like home. Okay, so we'll start again with our M, just to give that some good coverage, but you get a great idea of what we're doing here. Just flipping that over. In fact, I can probably remove these a bit more and not worry too much because I can see the stencil now, and I'll just show you how, first of all, how well that goes with a second coat. So sometimes when you come back for that second coat, which that's touch dry now, so it's all good to paint over, it will really just make that stand out a lot more. So I'll give you a little bit of a comparison with the others that I haven't done this top coat with. And again, holding that down, making sure we've got our line there. It may look a bit odd with just that line covering, so I may have to cover my bridges. We'll see. We'll see what the overall look looks like. Oh, USA, yes, Bonnie, you could totally do that. You could do some kind of stars and patriotic background for that time of year, and put the USA in these Varsity Letters would look amazing. So if you haven't got these already, this is the Varsity Letters, and there's some great monogram type things you can do with that, personalizing things like I did earlier with my S for Sharon using the sunflower stencils in the background. If you want to see how I did that, and if you missed that, you can catch the replay. Thank you to those of you who are sharing our live today and letting others know about it. You can just hit that little button and sprinkle the love around Facebook land. So here is our second coat. You could possibly even do a third coat on that, but I wanted to show you. Oh dear, I do have some, whoa. Oh, I do have so much, too much on my brush. You can see that now. I hate doing that. I hate doing that. But so I've had a little bit too much on my brush. It's my pet peeve of my own little wrongdoing. Okay, so see how much bolder that looks, the M, than the other letters. But you get the idea. So I will go ahead and now just add, so we're finished with the M. And so here's what happens with bleed through. You can see on the back of my M, so here's where I painted it, but I had too much on my brush, and so you'll see it dribbling onto the other side right here. You can see that oozing through, and then that creates little fuzzy edges on the back of your stencil, and we don't want that. So that's why we try really hard to, which one did I do next? The O? Oh, see, I've even got paint on the back side of here, which I don't want that to come off on anything. All right, so I'm going to place that down again. Let's see how we go with the O. Who else has got this leopard print? Don't go anywhere, guys, because at the end we are going to give away some prizes. We're almost finished. I'm going to go ahead and do my outside of the O, and then hold this to get those, make sure those lines don't move. And then that has covered that a whole lot better. Oh, done. Then I will clean off all my letters when I'm finished. I have been using that awesome spray, which has been pretty awesome. If you need a link to that, you can get it from Amazon, or probably a lot of you can get them from, I don't know, someone was saying they got them at dollar stores or something, so. But if you do it quick enough, if you clean quick enough, you can get them off with get the paint off with just soap and water. Fusion mineral paint is, like the name suggests, it sticks really well, which is the formula that they made specifically for painting furniture that has existing finishes on it. And so it's actually adheres really well to the stencils, which is kind of not what you want. You want to clean them off. So the awesome spray, I find, gets the fusion paint off really well. Getting paint on my fingers, just doing my fingernails here while we work, guys. Yeah, it does really pop, doesn't it? Oh, Colleen, you're planting a fall garden. I want to know what you're planting. That sounds wonderful. Yes, so Colleen, if you've just joined, like Colleen has, I didn't do this leopard print today on my live. I did this one, but I did this leopard print yesterday, and so I'm just going over it with the same Varsity letters that I used for my monogrammed clipboard there with the letter S. And I'm showing you how else you can use these, because I did this background yesterday. I thought I'm just going to show everyone how to just add some letters to it and create a fun sign. So today I've showed you how to do letters over the top of a background pattern, and also how to do background pattern underneath or inside your letters. So if you want to know how to get the stencil inside your letters, watch the beginning of our live. But don't go anywhere. We're about to pick some winners, guys. Almost finished. We're up to the letter E. But I love hearing about what you're up to. So let us know in the comments if you've got any stenciling questions. Please ask away, because I will go back and have a look at those and answer those for you. If you missed it at the beginning, you can get 10% off anything in the Essential Stencil shop by using my code IRestoreStuff. And also 50% off the Stencil of the Month, first month of the club. You can get 50% off that as well using the same code, IRestoreStuff. Okay, we're about to pick some winners, so stay tuned and I will announce those in a second. And yes, Essential Stencil has popped the link for the Varsity Letters there, and also we used the sunflower the Sunflower Pattern stencil. Is it Sunflower Blooms, I think it's called, but it's this pattern. So we use that. See how I just used that tiny little bit where that's coloured mustard right there? That's my S. S for Sharon, that's who I am. You can find me at irestorestuff.com or @irestorestuff on Instagram and Pinterest and YouTube and all of the things. There is my logo up here. So the code to use is iRestoreStuff. You can follow me at iRestoreStuff. I'm one of Essential Stencils ambassadors. And I would like to congratulate the winners today of our live giveaway. I've lost them, you guys. It's not here on the pinned post. I'm pretty sure it's up here. Let me just tap on my live so I can see who they are. We've got Laura, Missy, and Jennifer. So you've got an email address to send your, let them know that you were a winner on Sharon's live today here on Essential Stencils page. And I hope you enjoyed that, using the Varsity Letters and also the patterned, oh, and we also used the transfers too. So I'm going to think about what other transfers I might need to add to this. But you can also see my photos that I'll pop up on my page, I Restore Stuff, later. And also in the Stencil of the Month Club, I always do a post in there. So hope you enjoyed that today. I'll see you again next week. And stay tuned for our next week's live. I don't even know what I'm going to do yet. Sometimes I don't know till the night before. But thank you so much for watching, and congratulations to our winners today. Bye.